With the nation's 250th birthday just 2 months away, the president's pet projects are moving at what a White House spokesman tells the New York Times is Trump speed. The administration bypassed oversight of his latest project to turn the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool blue, according to new reporting from the Times. It invoked an exemption meant for urgent situations and gave a $6.9 million no-bid contract to his former pool guy at one of his golf courses. Meanwhile, the Qatari-gifted jet that Donald Trump plans to temporarily use as Air Force One is getting painted red, white, and blue. The president says it is set to be ready by July 4th. Joining me now, we have Tim O'Brien, Senior Executive Editor, Bloomberg Opinion, MS Now political analyst as well. So welcome, Tim. So look, the painting of this pool, it is just another example of the president bypassing oversight and laws to get a pet construction project done quickly. I mean, do you remember how shocked people were when the historic White House East Wing was suddenly bulldozed? So why is he avoiding public scrutiny if he is confident his projects are so beautiful and fabulous, as he might put it, for the country?
Well, I think the most charitable interpretation is that he just wants to move quickly and he doesn't want to be encumbered by regulations, by other people's input, by other people's taste. Trump has a very idiosyncratic, peculiar dose of bad taste in much of the stuff that he builds, and he likes to do it on his own. I think the more critical observation is, where's the money going? You know, if you look at the East Wing project, that began, when he decided to turn it into a new mega ballroom. It was going to be $250 million. It was going to be privately funded. Taxpayers wouldn't pay a dime. And they set up some sort of a structure to receive those funds. And in the months since, the price tag has escalated into the high hundreds of millions. It's now $1 billion estimates, and taxpayers are going to be on the hook for it, according to a new bill moving through Congress. Well, what happened to the original money, that was raised to pay for this privately, and in everything else he's touching? His presidential library in Florida, the Triumphal Arch he wants to build a memorial bridge. Even the contract for painting the reflecting pool. There is this whiff of grift around all of it, that somehow the money, it's not just a monument to himself, which is troubling enough. It's not skirting the interests of the American people, which is troubling enough. But there also is this suggestion, or at least a very strong indication, that some of the money is channeling it back into Trump or his friends' pockets, which is also a problem.
Well, that latter point, friends' pockets, apparently that $6.9 million no-bid contract goes to his former pool guy at one of his golf courses. So to that point, you have the Qatari plane, which has raised serious ethical and legal questions over violating the Constitution's emoluments clause when accepting gifts from a foreign country. But Trump defends his action, saying this one is going to save Americans their taxpayer dollars. The Wall Street Journal reports, though, this so-called palace in the sky, that's going to keep its lavish interior. The $400 million U.S. taxpayer dollars spent on modifying the plane, that all went towards security measures. I mean, it's Air Force One, right? You've got to have them. So what do we know for certain? I mean, is it guaranteed that Donald Trump is going to put this plane, once he leaves office, into a library? Because there's been question about where that library will be. Will it be built big enough to house a plane, or might he still just use it to fly around?
I suspect he will use it to continue to fly around, probably until he passes, at which point maybe it'll end up in a library. But I think his designs on this is to use it until he can't use it anymore. And again, in this case, it's not simply taxpayers being put on the hook to upgrade a plane for his use as president and ultimately his personal use. It's also, he's accepting a gift from a foreign government that has national security concerns, that present themselves in a region in which we are in a war. Everyone is scrambling to get the favor of the United States, not just militarily, but technologically. And Trump is skirting every kind of guardrail you would want around the White House. So something that appears to be a bribe isn't, in fact, a bribe. And that's certainly what this jet represents.
Let me quickly ask you about Trump Media and Technology Group, of course, the owner of Truth Social, announcing this week it lost over $400 million in the first quarter of this year. DJT is now trading at under $9 a share. That's down about 30% in this year. Their businesses span kind of weird mix of social media, cryptocurrency, and a $6 billion bet on nuclear fusion. But what does this tell you, Tim? Is Truth Media failing?
It certainly appears to be failing. Devin Nunes is not going to have a job as a CEO much longer. He didn't come into that job with any of the kind of requisite background to be the CEO of a company like this. Donald Trump has never had his hands on a publicly traded company that didn't end up in some sort of financial trouble ever over the last several decades. Anyone who invested money in Trump media this go around has lost the lion's share of their money. Even going, if they invested it in several years ago, there was a period when the people got in early, made money, but that's no longer true either. And certainly people who bought this stock when Trump got inaugurated have been taken to the cleaners. It doesn't have a viable business model, and it's evident in the numbers.
Tim O'Brien, we'll have you back again because there'll certainly be more to discuss. Thank you.